Yeah, so my main research is a field trial looking at 4 different clover species. So we have white, crimson, rose, and strawberry clovers growing with Kentucky bluegrass, which is a really popular lawn turf around here. And the goal is kind of just to see if they persist in these mixtures, whether the clovers can transfer nitrogen, if they help with weed issues, things like that. So it's kind of looking at it as a whole ecosystem instead of just a kind of monoculture of turf. Yeah, so we actually just seeded about not quite 2 months ago. So it's been just a lot of waiting at this point, but I eventually will be going out pretty regularly to look at the plots, evaluate them for weeds, quality, color, things like that, counting kind of the percentage of clover to grass and seeing if they flower. So it will be more field-based eventually. Yeah, I think big picture is to get homeowners and maybe more commercial areas, potentially golf course roughs, things like that, to move into these kind of the general term is kind of eco lawns. It's not really a scientific term, but again, looking at these as more of, okay, you don't have to just have grass in your lawn. You can have these forbs that can provide nitrogen to the turf so you don't have to apply fertilizer, that can remain green in the middle of summer so you don't have to irrigate as much, provide pollinator forage, things like that. And so you're adding all these ecosystem services in while still maintaining the benefits of having turf there as well. And so it definitely could have application beyond this. There's been some research on white clover already, but we're looking at some of these other ones that might do a little bit better out here in the West. Yeah, so it's been really interesting because about 6 months after I got to Utah, my advisor went on a year sabbatical in Costa Rica. So obviously we didn't meet very often during that time. So I had to rely on some of my committee members pretty heavily during that period. She's back now, but we still only eat maybe, I guess, on an as-needed basis. So we really only chat when I actually have a pressing problem, or like when I'm working on a grant and I need her to look over that or something like that. I'm given a lot more freedom now than I was during my master's or my undergrad research. And it's been an adjustment, but a good one. I have, when I was at my desk, I had, a calendar and I had sticky notes everywhere and literally just a list of all the projects that I had so I wouldn't forget anything. Now that I'm at home, it's been a little more relaxed, I guess, for better or worse. And I still try and keep kind of a list so I don't forget anything, but I do better when I have more projects to work on because it kind of allows me to step away from things for a while and kind of let them sit in my mind for a while I can take a step back and not focus on it, if that makes sense. But I don't have a great kind of answer for that. I just try not to forget things and work on what needs to be worked on kind of as it goes. And I definitely think it's worth prioritizing certain things over others. So, sometimes my classwork takes a hit when I have other things going on, and that's just the way it has to be, I knew nothing really about clovers going into this. I'm also doing some plant growth promoting rhizobacteria research, or I will be eventually. Once things kind of settle down and I can get back into the greenhouse. I know nothing about that. So just reading a lot about things and opening myself up to different opportunities and different ideas. Initially when I came here, I was supposed to do gray water research and that obviously didn't happen. And so just kind of being open to different things. But Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think pushing myself to not be afraid to sound stupid or ask questions or whatever the case may be, um, for better or worse, I'm sure it annoys my advisors and my committee a lot of the time, but if I need help with something, just forcing yourself to ask for that help or ask for clarification or ask for resources, I think is a really big part of growing during a PhD.